Hey guys, welcome back to Next Level Gardening. Today I'm taking you through exactly what vegetables to plant in April to maximize your summer harvest. I'll cover cool season favorites, heat tolerant options, and even a few unexpected surprises that perform best when planted this month. Throughout the video, I'm going to give you pro tips for each of these crops that will help them thrive and give you bumper crops this summer. Before we get into specific crops, we have to talk about planting times. I can't stress this enough. Knowing your last frost date is key to success in April. Depending on where you live, what you can plant will vary, and getting it wrong can mean wasted time and wasted energy. Most of the crops I'm including in this video are planted in April just about everywhere, but for those of you in pretty northern climates, it might be April, it might be May, it might be June. That's exactly why we developed the free planting calculator. No matter where you are, this calculator will tell you, based on your frost date, when you can plant indoors and outdoors in your area. Anything you want to grow. It will also give you a growing guide for those crops, including scientific companion plants best for that crop. Better yet, you can receive notifications for each crop to tell you when to sow, when to plant outdoors, and when to harvest. It takes all of the guesswork out of it. Did I mention it's free? I'll leave a link in the video description below. All right, let's get into the video. Leafy greens are some of the most rewarding crops to start in April. They love cool spring temperatures and they're quick to mature, meaning you'll be harvesting fresh greens in just a few weeks. Lettuce is a must for April. Loose leaf varieties like black-seeded Simpson grow fast and can be harvested as baby greens in just 30 days. Romaine types like Paris Island take a little longer but reward you with crisp, upright heads. And if you want something tender and buttery, go for a butterhead variety like Butter Crunch. Now a pro tip. Lettuce seeds are really small, and you can get away with less thinning by mixing a packet of seed with 2 tablespoons of sand. Put it in an old herb shaker bottle and shake it up. The sand will naturally stop you from overseeding a row of lettuce. Sow a few feet every 2 weeks or so to spread out the harvest over months versus weeks. You can also sow in part shade as you get close to warmer weather to stop the lettuce from being bitter and going to seed because of the hot sun. Spinach is a cool weather powerhouse. Varieties like Bloomsdale and Giant Noble thrive in spring temperatures. Direct sow in well-drained soil and keep it consistently moist for the best results. Kale is tough, reliable, and packed with nutrients. Lacinato, also known as dinosaur kale, grows long, dark leaves, perfect for soups and sautés. Red Russian is a bit more tender and adds a pop of color to your garden. A pro tip is to plant kale and spinach in succession every 2 to 3 weeks for continuous harvests into early summer. Root vegetables are another perfect choice for April. These crops prefer cool weather, and they'll thrive if you get them into the ground before heat sets in. Carrots love cool soil and take about 70 to 80 days to mature. Nantes varieties are sweet and tender, while Danvers has a more classic carrot shape and flavor. And if you want a splash of color, try a rainbow mix for vibrant reds, yellows, and purples. The pro tip for carrots is about germination. It's kind of hard to get carrots to germinate well because they need consistent moisture, but they also need light as soon as they break their seed coat. So you can't really cover them with enough soil to keep them moist. So no matter what you do, you want to water them every single day until they germinate. Now, you can help with this, help keep the moisture in a few different ways. So first of all, don't cover carrot seed with soil. You can lay some wet burlap on top of that to maintain the moisture, but remove it once the carrots are up. You can also use a piece of wood, but remove it when carrots germinate. So after 7 to 10 days, you need to check every day under that piece of wood and take it off as soon as you see that germination happening. It's a lot of work. The easy way to do it is to sprinkle a light layer of pine shavings or vermiculite over the seeds. This is just enough to keep the moisture in and let the sunlight in, so as soon as they germinate, they've got that. Radishes are one of the quickest crops to grow, and April is a great time to get them in the ground. Cherry Belle produces classic round red radishes, while French Breakfast offers oblong roots with a mild peppery flavor. Beets take a little longer than radishes, but they're worth the wait. Bull's Blood and Detroit Dark Red are classic, reliable varieties, while golden beets offer a milder flavor and they don't stain. If you're feeling adventurous, try Chioggia, an heirloom with beautiful candy-striped flesh. Now, a pro tip would be to thin beets and carrot seedlings early to avoid overcrowding and allow the roots to develop fully. You can leave 3 or 4 beets right close together, but give each of those groups of 3 or 4 about 2 inches of elbow room between them in the next group. Brassicas love cool weather, and they do the best when planted in April, unless you heat up really quickly, and if that's the case, you probably have a more mild winter climate. So in those places, you want to sow them in the fall and let them grow all winter. Whatever the case, you want them to finish before the heat of summer sets in. Broccoli thrives when it has plenty of time to grow before temperatures rise. Waltham 29 is an heirloom favorite, while Green Magic is a hybrid. It matures a little bit faster. Cauliflower can be a bit picky, but Snowball Y is a reliable variety for spring planting. If you want something fun and colorful, try Graffiti, which produces stunning purple heads. Brussels sprouts take a long time to mature, so plant them early for a solid fall harvest. Long Island Improved is a compact, high-yielding variety that does well in home gardens. Now, a pro tip for brassicas is to protect them when they're young from cabbage worms and aphids by using row covers or insect netting. Now, you can also interplant brassicas with other crops, which keeps the cabbage worm numbers down. Here's why. Studies have shown that cabbage butterflies actually have to land on a specific number of cabbage or brassica leaves. They have to land on them a specific number of times before they will lay an egg. So if you've got all brassicas, then every time they land counts as one of those landing times. But if you've got brassicas interplanted with other things, then they're going to land on the brassica, then something else, then a brassica, then something else, then something else, then a brassica. That breaks up that whole pattern, and the result is less eggs laid, which means less cabbage worms for you to deal with. Now, for more science-based companion strategies that work, I will leave a link in the description below to my book. April is a great month to get a head start on some warm season crops, especially if you're in a mild climate. Just be ready to protect these plants if a late frost sneaks in. Beans germinate best when the soil is at least 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Provider bush beans are quick and reliable, while Kentucky Wonder pole beans will give you a steady harvest over a longer period. You want to amend the soil with good compost to enrich it and hold the moisture in, which beans love. Cucumbers thrive in warm soil and love to climb. Now, there are 2 types of cucumbers, slicing and pickling. Marketmore produces a classic slicing cucumber, and Boston Pickling is obviously a favorite for crunchy dill pickles. Now, Be It Alpha is a great cucumber if you only want to grow one that is good for both slicing and pickling. Zucchini and yellow crookneck squash are fast growers and can be direct sown once the soil warms up. Be prepared for a bumper crop. You probably only need 1 or 2 plants of each. If you have a lack of pollinators in your garden, consider planting zinnias or cosmos with your squashes to increase bee activity in the area. If you have a lack of space for large plants like squash, you can actually train them to grow up a stake, rather than them snaking through your garden beds and taking up all that valuable real estate. Now, this isn't just for vining squash. This is for zucchini type of squash. And not only does it save space, it gets the flowers up in the air for the bees to spot them easily, and it keeps the fruit off the ground and away from pests. I'll leave a link to a video on how to do this in the video description. April is also a great time for eggplant. Now, eggplant loves the heat, so choose a really sunny location with at least 6 to 8 hours of direct sunlight. Consistent watering is key. Keep the soil evenly moist, but not waterlogged, and be sure to mulch around the base to retain moisture and to regulate the soil temperature. April is a great time to get tomato seeds going, so click on this video right here for a no-fail way to sow tomato seeds and get a crazy big harvest this summer. I'll see you guys next time.